Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. My name is Jake, and I am here for another weekly reading. Um, I am going to do the tarot reading, of course. If I need to, I do have my dowsing rods to verify anything that I have any confusion on. I want to take time for any visitors coming by and viewing my videos. I appreciate it, and I even appreciate more likes, comments, and subscribing to that channel. Normally, I do the weekly tarot readings on a Thursday. This week, I'm doing it today on Tuesday due to me being I'm going out of town for an extended weekend. So, with that being said, I haven't even done my shuffling yet. I just jumped right in because I wanted to get this in, and I had some time in between my work meetings to do this. um, just a little bit. If you haven't watched any of my introductory videos, I am always had a relationship since I was a kid. On the other side, I blocked a lot of this stuff for a long time because I was scared. So if you ever feel scared, don't feel alone about it because um, I was there. I blocked a lot of the doorway. I was just scared about, and now it feels kind of silly about it because I do have a close relationship with my spirit guides. Everyone has close relationships, whether you're aware of it or not, with your spirit guides. Um, they've been with you since the beginning when you first even developed your this life on the other side. So um a little bit of rambling before we begin. I do have questions for today's weekly reading. If you do feel free to drop down any questions that are not personal questions down below that you would like me to ask in future weeks ahead. I'm going to start out like per usual with the international questions I have, and then move on to some U.S. Questions. So first, I'm going to ask about what's last week I talked about the actual deal that's going to happen, according to my spirit guides, that deal between that will end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I just want to take a look at where they see Palestine in the next few years, and then I'll ask the same question in regards to Israel, because I'm just curious about where we see Palestine. Tell me where Palestine, the direction is heading in the next few years after the conflict. And that's the thing that I want to know. After this conflict's over, where the path for Palestine. Okay. We have the Fool card, brand new beginnings for Palestine. What's being crossed is with the Knight of Pentacles. So there, when it's on its side, I've said before, it's kind of like a reversal. So there's going to be in the beginning they're going to feel really stuck because there's a lot of work that's going to have to be done to rebuild Palestine, whether it's buildings and bridges and roads and things like that, but just the government itself, the culture. After this huge, devastating conflict that's happened, there is the Ace of Pentacles in the recent past. From the end of this uh, conflict, there is going to be funding to rebuild Palestine. That's going to be part of the agreement. The foundation is at the transition. So this is really the Palestinians are going to be moving out of choppier waters into much smoother waters in the years to come. Knight of Wands. This is a lot of energy moving forward to really rebuild the country. I think what the guess is in regards to this agreement is that the Gulf countries are in the Middle East are going to be in charge of rebuilding Palestine and kind of working with the PLO. Uh, and I think that's what's going to happen. Why the transition in Israel is going to have either no or limited role in the rebuilding. There's going to be a lot of soul searching going on in regards to the direction that they want to go post Hamas control of Palestine. Six of Cups, there are going to be thinking about happier times, how things were in the past before this total destruction of Palestine. The action is going to happen pretty fast. Despite they're going to feel stuck on stuff. There's going to be a lot of changes in very past time because they want to make sure post agreement that they have homes and things like that. People aren't being refugees, that they have a home to come back to. There's going to be the fears they're going to be disappointed about the rebuilding process. There's a fear in that, which is natural after this thing. But here, the world card is showing that there's going to be wholeness attained finally for this region of the world. So that is actually a good outcome for after this conflict ends. This deal needs to be over with, right? We're all praying that this conflict can be done with. Better years ahead for both sides. In peace. Peace. All right. Now I want to ask the same question in regards to Israel. When this conflict ends and an agreement's made, what do you see, Spirit, in regards to Israel in the years ahead? What do you see in regards to Israel post this conflict being over? There's going to be restrictions being crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. So this is actually going to be a negative phase. I think there's going to be in this conflict or post this agreement. I think Netanyahu is going to be on the outs when it comes to it, and it might even be part of the agreement that needs to be out of if Hamas is leading, Netanyahu has to leave on the Israeli side, and so. Here we go with painful endings. I think in the recent past. So I think this is true that Netanyahu may be on the outs once this agreement's met and the conflict's over. There is collaboration on the foundation of this. I think this is definitely affirming that there is an agreement on this, or this is part of the agreement about him leaving. The Empress cards on crowning the reading. I know this a lot of times is for many readers, including myself, represents Russia, but I think in this instance is talking about growth and evolution of Israel too. We have with the last reading on Palestine, there's new development and growth in reevaluation with the direction that the Palestinians want to go. I think that's the same goes for the Israelis as well. And here we go about supporting that in the near future. They're going to look at opportunities, choices with the Seven of Cups. And again, for them too. We have the Eight of Wands with fast movement. This is going to happen fast, even with the Israeli side. There's going to be a lot of emotions in regards to surrounding this from the outside. The Queen of Cups, with Netanyahu out, I think for Israelis, this is going to be a very much they're hoping for a time of healing for their country because of what they've went through on their end with this ordeal. And then and this is a really good card for the final income for the Israelis, Nine of Pentacles. So I think after this horrific conflict comes to an end, both sides will find their own peace, which even for the rest of the world is going to be a good for the rest of the world as well, and in the region and for the individuals that live in that area. So, okay. Oops. Answered those questions. All right. Moving along, I want to ask about what we see for Putin for the remainder of 2025. It's about to be October. We're already in the last quarter of the year. Can you believe it? How fast this year has gone by. Some days it felt slower than other days, right? But overall, this year kind of flew by. So I'm like, weren't we just summering like in just the beginning of summer? Now we're thinking about the holidays. Oh goodness gracious. Yeah. So Putin, Spirit, what do you show me Vladimir Putin for the rest of 2025? His path here. Whoop, 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 here we go. I'm gonna see what the one that jumped. Ah, how funny is this? When I was mentioning about the Emperor's card comes up about Russia. Yeah, we're talking about Vladimir Putin. Could also mean that there's some healing for Russia too, right? Maybe the end of the Ukrainian stuff too. Ukrainian war that's happening with Russian invasion. All right. So we have the Five of Cups, disappointment, failure, and then crossed by the Lover's card. So there's a lot of suffering going on and disappointment. Suffering, bad choices. This is a reflection. We're talking about Vladimir Putin. It's obvious he's done bad choices that had not only for himself but also for his country. And I don't think even with when things are said and done, Russia's not going to come out any ahead from this conflict. So you have in the recent past the Seven of Wands, very unbalanced, trying to keep on his feet, grounded, and it's just not going to work. It's just history. Surprise, surprise, the devil is the foundation of this reading. In the King of Swords crown this reading, that there's going to be more clarity coming up, and Three of Swords is coming up in the near future. There's going to be definite loss, negative thoughts, imprisonment. He might be on the outs coming at the end of the year. Here, yeah, I think so. Here's the Justice card coming for him. Dealing with money issues. It could be the oligarchy in Russian oligarchy not happy with Putin without them. And here's the Page of Pentacles. So there's some type of opportunity manifestation that comes up at the end of it. And I think definitely with the Eight of Swords, the Justice, and plus the Three of Swords here, there's something going to end. His rules is coming to an end. So, a lot of change coming forward. Excuse me, in the near future. I know not fast enough for a lot of us, but hold in tight, everyone. We have to be patient and let things. The universe works with things how it's supposed to. So it's going to happen. The pendulum always swings back, time and time again in history. I'm sure many times people wish things would get better quicker, but we can just pray and send out positive energies out there, because that does make a difference. So let's take a look now. My last question I have for international before moving on to questions in regards to the US is to find out if NATO will start taking action towards the Russian drones. I believe recently were suspected Russian drones that flew over Denmark. So he's really, if this is true, all this is for entertainment purposes only. It's in my caption below. If this is true, he as in Putin is really pushing the boundaries to see what he can get away with and what's going to cause a reaction. So let's see, Spirit, will NATO start taking action towards these drones that are flying over NATO territory? Because we had some, what was it? Was it Finland? All right. And I know about Poland too. NATO take action on these drones. Yeah. Um, Long-term success with the Ten of Pentacles being crossed by the Queen of Cups. There is I think NATO is trying to really thinking about how to move forward about this in the right way. Because they do want to protect themselves, but they don't want to escalate things into a full-out war. Um, Knight of Cups in the recent past, there were many proposals brought forward. The foundation of the reading is disappointment. I think the disappointment comes from disappointment that this is where they're at, because this so close to being in a war in Europe again. But there is going to be some type of victory with the Six of Wands crowning the reading, and there is collaboration coming in together. So I think they are going to come together with a plan to take some action. King of Cups being a balance. There are balanced leaders on NATO security, especially on the Security Council. Soul searching with the Hermit card. Again, a lot of emotions. It goes with this disappointment where they're at. This Ace of Cups reflects with that, with the Five of Cups in regards to so much emotions are involved in what to do with this. And here's the Russian card, and it's a yes card with the Empress that they will start attacking these drones. I think definitely NATO is like, enough. We need to fight back and take control over this. Okay. So let's move on. Before we move on, I need a sip of water. Okay. Moving on to US. So the Secretary of Defense, War, whatever you want to say, Pete Hegseth had a meeting with admirals and generals in Quantico, Virginia. A lot of opinions about this meeting, about security issues, costs of bringing all these leaders here, and just what the heck is about. And I know I asked this last week. I just want to get a reaction now that meeting has pretty much closed in regards to um, the military leaders' reactions to what the actual meeting was about this meeting. Ooh, too many cars now. Yeah. Reaction by the military leaders from this meeting. Right. Page of Wands coming through with probably representing Hexes himself, taking the talking stick, wanting to, is very excited, feels like he's the inspirational spokesperson for the military. It's being crossed by the Nine of Wands. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. A lot of the military leaders were struggling with this meeting, what the contents of the meeting. In the recent past is the Eight of Cups, so a lot of disappointment coming into this meeting. People were not happy about coming here. Um, the foundation is this new cycle, the end of a cycle, new cycle completion with the World card. A lot of disappointment with the Five of Cups crowning this reading. They weren't happy. They're the illusions going on in Seven of Cups from this meeting. There were some collaborations going on with the Three of Pentacles. I think they used from the outside. They used a lot of ideas about Russia getting their military leaders together, which is not surprising with Trump being having close ties with Putin. Um, I think what was talked about building up military action through with this chariot card to rev it up with various different things, and yeah, there was a lot of there was just with this Five of Pentacles, a lot of people came out from like, what is going on? Like, what is real? They probably came into the meeting having heard these military leaders have heard through the grapevine about a lot of the chaos going on, and I think coming out of this meeting, they're going to even have more evidence of this actually going on, and it's going to worry a lot of the military leaders, um, and I think it's going to lead to Knight of Wands. I think it's going to lead to a lot of the military leaders working, the ones that are not for whatever this meeting is going to really work together and talk outside this meeting. I'm not saying there's a coup or anything, but I think they're going to be making sure that they stick together. Okay. As of I'm on Eastern time zone, so 2:14. Let's see if there's going to be a government shutdown. I know I asked this last week. Today is the day. Midnight's the answer. And I said that there was. I know a lot of the media is saying that there is going to, but said last week there's going to be a surprise with some Democrats crossing over. I know Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania has stated that he will vote for the continuing resolution. Um, I don't know. There might be, with the midterm elections coming up, I think they might get the votes, unfortunately. You know? Let's see. Um, Ten of Cups, the stability, or Nine of Cups, excuse me. Stability is being crossed by the Ace of Pentacles. There's a lost opportunity. So something's not obviously not going right. The Two of Cups here, where maybe speaking to that in the past, where Democrats tried to collaborate with with the Republicans and even the president, who said to F off to the Democrat leaders. Gosh. Again, Three of Pentacles, the collaboration, or maybe lack thereof, the Wheel of Fortune here, a turning point, the Seven of Pentacles, the long-term view, and this is a new beginning with the Fool card, King of Swords, someone being disciplined here in regards to this. There's some contemplation with the Four of Swords, illusions and delusions. So now it's saying it's a maybe kind of thing, but here I get, when I look at the bottom of the deck, we're getting the Five of Swords and disappointment in the Three of Swords. So even though it's saying maybe with the government shutdown, it's saying no. So I think right now, even though it's still it's leaning towards a no still, that about a government shutdown. There could be things that may change, with free will, that might change, but I think they're going to get some of the Democrats that they need to cross over in regards to vote for this CR, this clean R. So I think one of the things, there's a couple things I think why Democrats would, besides the election, I think they're worried about the threat of mass layoffs with federal workers. And I think some of them are falling for the Republicans guaranteeing to have on the floor about the ACA, aka Obamacare tax credits being put on the floor to get those back. So we'll see. Okay. I mentioned that that eventually the Epstein files are going to be released. However, Speaker Johnson is preventing Adelita Grijalva from Arizona. She's a Democrat that won the special election, from being sworn in until the votes are certified. That's his reasoning. There is a push to have her in. She is planning to vote for this petition vote. So, and she's the last vote needed, unless there's somebody in Congress that decides to switch their vote. So, let's see if Johnson will, swear her in by the end of next month, end of October. Because even if he does this, this issue is not going to go away. It's not. Will Johnson swear the new Congresswoman in by the end of this? Woo. See what comes out. Long-term success, manifestation with the Page of Pentacles, and the Judgment card with the new phase. So I think that's all good signs that it's going to happen. Because there might be a push. He doesn't. This may not be even in public, but there might be some Republicans, because remember MTG, and there might be some other Republicans saying, hey, if you don't do this and allow her to be sworn in, we may put a petition out for a new speaker. So we'll see about that. But all right. Okay, here's the long-term view with the Seven of Pentacles being crossed by delays. So that's what we're dealing with right now, with the delays of this Congresswoman. The Wheel of Fortune. And this is representing the vote that's needed for these Epstein files. The Queen of Cups is the foundation of this reading, Tower card, crowning this reading. There's going to be something that happens that it's going to. This is what I was just saying. Like there might be something. Like I said, it might not be put out in the public. I think in the background there are some Republicans probably putting pressure on his speakership, and he's going to cause him 9 of Swords. I'm sure everybody's feeling so bad for Johnson over that. Here's the Knight of Swords. It's the driven. There's going to be much action pushed to get her in. The Page of Swords coming from the outside. There is going to be justice. And yeah, the wish comes true. She is going to get sworn in by the end of next month. So yeah, I think it's going to backfire. Him holding off. It may put this delay right now, but not in the long term. It's not going to help him. All right, I'm going a little bit over than I usually am. I like to try to keep it at a half an hour, but Kathy, me want to get these questions too, and want to get this before I leave. All right, Trump's health. Let's take a look at where we're at with Trump's health. Where is Trump's health currently? President Trump's health. Spirit. Show me where Trump's health is right now. All right. The 6 of Swords. There's some type of change that's happening right now, being crossed by the Ace of Pentacles. I think there's something that's going on right now with his health that he wasn't expecting. Another negative change. Here's the Hangman in the recent past about a pause, letting go. I think he's been taking it. He's been being prevented from doing certain things that he wants to do because of his health. Ace of Cups is the foundation of the reading. It probably upsets him a lot. With him, my guess it comes out as anger backlashes because of his health is not doing well. We got the Knight of Cups crowning the reading. There are some proposals on what to do about it. The Star card in the near future, he might in the near future get rejuvenated, pumped up with whatever magic cocktails that they're giving him. And then the Queen of Wands coming in here, he's going to feel a little more focused after this. But then there's going to be 2 Swords. There's going to be some difficult decisions, weighing options, because I think these health events are coming more often. Like when I do these readings on his health, these little health events are coming across again and again more often. So I think that's what we're going to be talking about. And here's him with the Emperor card here. And then right here is the 9 of Wands, which is the last stand, boundaries. So I think he's going to be very limited on what he's going to be able to do. And they're going to be making, they probably already are, not going to, but they're already working on contingency plans on his health. So there we are in regards to that. And at the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Wands, a lot of burden on him and the others that are in his administration trying to deal with these health events and how to work around them while keeping it quiet from the public. All right. As I try to do always is to try to keep it a little more light and inspirational. At the end of this reading is to do a general reading for the public. Or my spirit guides, can you give me a reading on for the general public on what best to do for everyone, what everyone needs to be thinking about doing for themselves? Let's keep this positive and light for the end, right? What do you have to say, Spirit, for the general public? We have the Strength card here, and what's crossing the Strength card? It's the Two of Cups. If we want to continue our strength, we have to, and this is a repeating message that I get the last few weeks, is to focus on self-love. Focus on, if you want change to happen, we have to start with ourselves, right? Start with taking care of ourselves up here, as well as our heart and the rest of our body, right? Um, in the recent past, we have the Four of Wands. Coming together, the community, building that community. That's one of the things that can lead to the strength and to the self-love. We're going through, and I've mentioned this before, we're going through with the Death cards, we're going through a painful time of change. Even though it's a lot of endings of things that we were used to, this is also a beginning. Death is not just the end. It's also signifying a beginning of something new. And right now, we may be saying, oh, this is terrible. All this new stuff is terrible. This is part of the terrible stuff is part of the change that's going to be leading to the new stuff that will be better. Okay? Even though it's hard to see right now. And here it goes along with this Death card, the Ace of Swords. There are going to be breakthroughs for the good of things, so new ideas, cutting through all the BS that we're dealing with right now, right? Six of Cups, remembering to keep reminiscing about what the good things are through this times of change. And why that's important is also remembering what things bring us joy, what things that brings us as humans together too. Knight of Swords, very fast thinking, fast action that's happening right now, that we're dealing with right now. And here, Spirit is saying exactly what I'm saying in regards to this tower moment, this sudden change, a lot of these quick changes that are going on right now. Our hope is leading to new ideas that will benefit us in the long run through this change. And in the end, the outcome card, again, talking about community. Coming together will bring to harmony. This is the Ten of Cups, inner happiness, things like that. That's what they're trying to say and with the King Cups at the bottom of the deck, to be emotionally balanced. Remember, so recapping this message real quick is to remember to build up your community by first taking care of yourself to make you strong, to handle these changes we're going through. Remember, these changes, this mass change that we're going through is going to lead to the better world, the better life, and getting rid of the old stuff that has not served us. So with that, again, thank you for stopping by. Remember to like, subscribe, comment on anything. Also, ask any questions you want me to answer. Again, no personal questions. Until then, see you later.